Hello, welcome to the second lecture of this quantum mechanics series. In the last lecture, we have seen that the black body radiation curves cannot be explained by Wien's displacement law or say Rayleigh-Jeans law. Today in this lecture, we will derive Planck's radiation formula that will satisfy the entire range of black body radiation. So let us start our presentation. Yes. So we have seen the black body radiation curves. In the last lecture, we have seen that the lower wavelength side range can be explained by Wien's law, and higher wavelength side can be explained by the Rayleigh-Jeans law. We have seen the Stefan Boltzmann law like this, and Wien's displacement law. Also, we have seen Wien's displacement law is lambda m. Lambda m means lambda peak value of black body radiation into temperature is equal to a constant that is equal to 0.02898 meter degree Kelvin. And this is the Wien's formula of radiation, where E lambda d lambda is equal to C1 upon lambda to the power of 5 e to the power minus C2 upon lambda t into d lambda. C1 is equal to 8 pi Sc and C2 is equal to Sc upon K. And then to explain the black body radiation curves, Rayleigh-Jeans law have derived this formula. E lambda d lambda is equal to 8 pi kt upon lambda to the power 4 d lambda. But the drawback is at lower wavelength side, or say at higher frequency side, it cannot explain the nature of black body radiation curves. And this particular drawback is known as the ultraviolet catastrophe. This is as shown in figure. So this is the nature of the Rayleigh-Jeans law. That means this lower side of black body radiation curve cannot be explained by the Rayleigh-Jeans law. Then Planck's quantum hypothesis, Planck's law, he said that, or say, the radiation emitted from the black body radiation is emitted in the form of quantas. So by taking the help of this quantum theory, Planck has developed the black body radiation formula and derived an equation. And this equation completely agrees with the experimental observations. In this case, he has assumed the cavity radiation came from the atomic oscillations in the cavity walls of black body. Planck made two assumptions about the nature of oscillator in the cavity walls. The energy is quantized as per the quantum theory, and each energy level is a discrete energy level, and it is corresponding to the different quantum states. The oscillator emits uh, the radiation while jumping from one transition to another transition. The entire energy difference between the initial and final states in the transition is emitted or absorbed as a single quantum of radiation. An oscillator emits or absorbs energy only when it changes the quantum states. The energy carried by the quantum of radiation is equal to E is equal to h nu. This diagram shows these are the discrete energy levels. The two-sided arrow shows the transition, or say it may absorb, or say it may emit and come to the lower energy state. Okay, the horizontal line shows the discrete energy levels, and these are the allowed transitions. Okay, the average energy of the oscillation, or say average energy emitted during the transition, is also depends upon the probability of transition. This is the new concept, And this concept is used in the Planck's radiation formula that we are going to see. We are applying the quantum theory, we are applying the Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics also, and we are taking the probability consideration also. So the weighing is described by the Boltzmann distribution law and gives the probability of state being occupied as being proportional to exponential of minus E upon kT, where E is the energy of the state. So probability of occupation of energy depends upon this factor, that is exponential of minus E by kT. So this is how one can explain the transitions probability. So higher wavelength side, the transition levels are very close. So therefore transitions are possible. So possibility of transition, probability of transition is increasing. But as the radiation emitted from one transition to another transition is very low. The frequency is low, but the probability is maximum at the higher wavelength side. And for the lower wavelength side, the transition levels are far away. Therefore, the, the, the probability of transition is very less, but the energy of transition is very high. So this is how the higher wavelength region and lower wavelength region is explained by the concept of probability. So if you consider the one-dimensional box of we are talking about the standing waves. The waves originated from the black body. They are treated as a standing waves. If you consider the one-dimensional box of length say L, so these are the stationary or say standing waves. Though there is one node, two nodes, and three nodes like this. And here, if you work out these things, L upon lambda by 2 is equal to N. N is the number of modes, and N lambda by 2 is equal to L. Okay, so which is constant. N is a constant 1, 2, 3. If you consider the wave equation, ART is equal to A0 sine KR minus omega t, where speed is equal to C is equal to omega upon K. So we are taking the wave equation and applying it as a standing wave. So here, if you apply for the 3 dimensions, the L, M, N are integers now, having values 1, 2, 3. So this is the wave equation, simplified wave equation, where kx is a propagation constant, which may be 2 pi by lambda x. And similarly, kz, ky can be put in the form of 2 pi by lambda z and say 2 pi by lambda y, like that. And its value is pi L by L, pi N by L, and pi M by L. So if you write the k square is equal to kx square plus ky square plus kz square. So then if you put the value, that will be say pi upon L whole square into p square, where p square is equal to L square plus m square plus n square. Now we have now in place of L, M, N, we have this is the space, 3 coordinates we can say, and we have now p space. Okay. So if you consider the p space, and this is the 3-dimensional wave equation, and if you consider the p space and count the number of modes available for the oscillator to emit the frequency range nu and nu plus dB. So if you imagine a p space, if you consider the sphere of radius say p and p plus dp, if you want to find the volume between this dp area, okay, so we have to reduce the volume of this big sphere. uh, yes, subtract the volume of this small sphere having radius p from the volume of the big sphere that is having radius p plus dp. The volume comes out to be like this. If you have p space having like this, the volume of space between p and p plus dp will be equal to 4 by 3 pi p plus dp cube minus p cube, and its value comes out to be 4 pi p square dp, and neglecting the higher terms, that is dp cube. So the number of modes will be like this, and we have taken just one quadrant, therefore it is 1 by 8 into 4 pi p square dp. And again, if you put the value of P and dP here, you will get the value like this. The D and P, the number of modes available, is equal to L cube K square dk upon 2 pi square. So we will continue this equation. So we have replaced L cube by V. V is the volume. And if you work out like this, that will be 4 pi V into nu square dV upon C cube is the number of modes. Okay. Now there are two independent states for each set of values L, M and N. So therefore we multiply by 2, the equation becomes 8 pi V nu square dV upon C cube. The average energy per mode is equal to kT. So there is a difference. Yes, every energy is considered as a kT, but it is not kT. That we will be understand later. And if you take the value of average energy, say E dash is equal to kT, and if you count the number of, or say energy density is equal to number of modes per unit volume into average energy, so that will give you the Rayleigh-Jeans law. Okay, but the Rayleigh-Jeans law has a drawback, which we have already explained, and therefore the drawback is because we have taken the energy, average energy per mode is equal to kT, but it depends upon the probability. Okay, let us calculate the expected occupancy of mode, that is probability. If you find the Boltzmann factor, that is say probability of occupation of energy En is given by this expression, and the mean energy of mode of frequency nu is this. So we multiplied by probability En into Pn, that will be like this. If you just solve this equation, if you put, just for simplification, you put x is equal to exponential of minus h nu by kt, and you may just solve it like this. So you will get final expression like this. So energy E nu is the energy, we can say mean energy at frequency say nu is equal to h nu upon exponential of h nu by kt minus 1. So as I said, average energy we have taken in earlier slide is kT, but it is not kT, but it is of this value. Now if you put this value, then you will get the correct expression. So for smaller values of frequency, exponential of h nu by kt minus 1 is equal to h nu by kt, then the average energy becomes equal to kT. That means that is Rayleigh-Jeans law. So if you put this, so this is the Planck's radiation formula. If you put the value of average energy, exact value, that gives the Planck's radiation formula. So this radiation formula can give the Wien's law also, and it can be resulted into the Rayleigh-Jeans law. That means both the lower wavelength region and higher wavelength region, both can be, entire region can be explained by this formula. So let us see how. So this is the Planck's radiation formula, and this is the Wien's law, where C1 is equal to this much, C2 is equal to Sc by K, and E lambda d lambda is equal to 8 pi kt upon lambda to the power 4. So your assignment is to find the, or say to write the Planck's radiation formula in terms of wavelength, because we have given the Planck's radiation formula in terms of frequency. The conversion factor, you know, nu is equal to c upon lambda, d nu is equal to minus c d lambda upon lambda square. And you can derive this Wien's law from Planck's radiation formula. What is the condition? Condition is like this. When nu tends to infinity, this factor becomes exponential of h nu by kt minus 1 becomes simply h e exponential of h nu by kt. That will result into this equation. Okay, and then replace nu by c by lambda and d nu by minus c lambda, c d lambda upon lambda square. Okay, so you will get this equation. And already we have derived this Rayleigh-Jeans law from Planck's radiation formula. For the Planck's radiation formula, if you put this value, that is For higher frequency side, sorry, for lower frequency side, when frequency tends to 0. For lower wavelength side, the frequency tends to infinity in case of Wien's law, and for Rayleigh-Jean's law, we put nu tends to 0. In case of nu tends to 0, you will get this equation. Okay, so that is for your assignment. You have to derive Wien's law by using Planck's radiation formula and Rayleigh-Jean's law by using Planck's radiation formula. Okay, thank you so much. In the next lecture, we'll see the Compton effect in the next lecture. Okay, thank you so much.